Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my NHL 20 franchise mode here in the state of hockey. In the previous episode, we completed the most pivotal and franchise-altering draft in Minnesota's history. You know, I feel like I'm saying that about every draft. First year draft, great year, plenty of selections, elite goaltender, elite defenseman, elite center. The year after that, plenty more players, and this year, Boston decides they want to move the first overall pick, which turned out to be the high franchise player, 99 overall generational talent in Anthony Francis. I know a lot of you guys wanted him on this team, and I know a lot of you guys are probably disappointed about Gregor DeVries, the 97 overall goalie, not being on this team, because I didn't think Boston was going to give up that pick. And the moment I saw Boston wanting to give up that pick, I decided, you know what, this would change us. We're looking for that impact center, and what better than a 99 overall player? And there might be some comments about the draft that I can't get to because I'm filming both these episodes back to back, the draft and free agency, just to get myself a little caught up because I'm tired. I just need a few days just to vibe, you know, but I love this franchise mode. Everything is going great. Your support, by the time this episode is out, I'm probably hit 250 subscribers, so in advance, I would love to thank you guys. I'm going to thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for your constant support, comments, likes, subscriptions. I appreciate all of it. And you guys just commenting just makes me feel like all of this is worth it. Staying up until 1:21 a.m., which is the current time, and making these episodes and putting them out every day. Yes, this is I don't know how many days straight this is. Has to be close to 170 now. I mean, it's impressive for me especially. I want to get to 365 days in a row, which would be September 15th, 2020, which would be an entire year, which would be crazy. And maybe we'll get there. I'm not too sure. But Anthony Francis is going to change this team. He is going to change it for the better. 124 points in 68 games played in the OHL this year. And, you know, we put Kaprizov on 2 power play lines, but I want to see what kind of dynamite player Anthony Francis would be on 2 power play lines. Could you freaking imagine? We get to see this, and I rarely ever treat myself in franchise modes going after the top pick in these drafts where I know who the top guy is going to be. But getting a guy like this changes us, and if you guys don't agree with me getting him, I understand that. But that's why I didn't pick Francis and then DeVries, right? I kept myself from picking both of them. I totally could have, but we realistically already have a great goaltender who's going to be a great NHL player soon. He's 20 years of age, 76 overall, high elite. He's going to be great. Francis is NHL ready, obviously. He's going to be one of the best players in the league. And Gregor DeVries would have been awesome. He would have been sick, but I thought I would restrain myself a little bit. Maybe don't get too carried away. Right? 2 straight years with the first overall pick trading up into that situation. Both teams, I didn't force the trade. I gave up way more than I should have for the first overall pick with Boston. But I thought, you know, realistically, Boston would ask for a bit more, even though they're complete tools for wanting to give up that pick. They got a lot out of it. They got Matt Murray's contract, or they got his rights so they can negotiate a contract with him. Maybe he falls to free agency. I'm not too sure. They get a first-round draft pick next year from us, which I'm not sure how that pick is going to turn out. I wish they would have the feature in this game where you could put conditions, like in NBA 2K, where you could be like, oh, it's lottery protected, or it's top 3 protected, or it's like if we make the playoffs this year, like you get it the next, right? I would like that a lot. Just add a little. It's just the little things. NHL, EA, come on. Where was I? What was I saying? My train of thought is completely and utterly gone. Anthony Francis is going to be sick. He's going to be awesome. Great. I was talking about what I gave up to Boston. I gave up a first. I gave up Matt Murray's contract rights. I gave up Kevin Fiala, which saves up a bit of room on a roster, saves a bit of cap, $5-ish million. Kevin Fiala wasn't in my long-term plans for Minnesota. I thought if we were going to compete right now, it'd be nice to keep him on the team for a year. He goes away in a trade. Boston is going to enjoy him. We also trade away Trevor Wong. We traded Trevor Wong to Boston as well. We gave up a lot. We gave up a lot to Boston, but I thought, it makes sense. They get a medium elite centerman. They get a top 6 NHL player. They get a first. They get Matt Murray's contract rights, so they get to negotiate with him first, even if they want him or not, right? But Anthony Francis, in the long term, you could give up whatever you want on this team. He is 100% worth it, so we are going to extend an offer to him. I wish I could sign him to 8 years right now, but no. We're going to have to wait a few more years for that. Kaprizov, we did sign Kaprizov in the previous episode to a fantastic deal. During the playoffs, I did check, and he wanted $16 million a year for 8 years. And I'm like, oh, that's a lot. Okay, we'll check next episode. And we lost the first round, which is sad. I'm glad I didn't talk contracts during the playoffs, because right after our Game 7 elimination against Colorado, he's like, okay, maybe I'm a little outlandish for asking for 16 over 8. So he asked, okay, 11. And I'm like, hell yeah. We bump it down from 11 to 10, and then we move it up from 7 to 8 years, which it's a fantastic contract. Could you just imagine the first line? Alexei Pietrangelo, centered by Anthony Francis, and the right winger is Kirill Kaprizov. Just freaking wait. Next season is going to be fantastic, okay? But we have a lot to discuss this free agency period. Let's just get the RFAs out of the way. There's a few guys here, offer a few contracts. Fedor Gordeev forever. We're obviously going to offer him one. He's a beauty. And there's not a lot of RFAs this year, which is good. But we will get to a point in time where cap is going to be a problem. But I think right now, we currently have $28 million. And there's not a major RFA I'm interested in bringing, or UFA as well, and bringing back. We're going to spend money in free agency. If the time to spend money and be super competitive is right now, then we're going to do it. That is the best option right now, I think. Unsigned players, you also have Cal Newmanen, who we drafted with the 12th overall pick. In any other draft year, you would suspect that Cal Newmanen would be a top 5 overall pick. 5'10", 200 pounds. It said he was similar to Patrick Kane. I'm going to offer him that contract. He's going to come over here to Minnesota. I think he's going to play really well on this team, and he needs to be in an NHL spot right now. I think I'm also going to sign Chris Griffin, who one of my commenters pointed out that Chris Griffin is the guy from Family Guy, Peter Griffin's son, which I think is hilarious. And I think that's it for unsigned players. Let's look at the goalies first. Let's talk about the goaltending. Okay, controversy in the last episode, not drafting Gregor DeVries, because I thought, you know what, let's not cheese the system, okay? Jaden Weeman. I think it's Weeman. Whammon. Jaden Whammon. 20 years of age, 76 overall. I think he'll turn 21 somewhere in this season. Okay? He's going to be great. He might have a great offseason and jump to hopefully like a 79, which would be great for us. I think he needs to crack the NHL lineup next year. And that kind of opens the option to what do we do with Hunter Jones, Kakkonen, right? If there's a goalie out in free agency that is make or break, we have to do it. Just similar to Matt Murray next year, until Weeman is that guy in net for us, we have to get a for sure starter. Okay? So you got guys like Robson, you can let him go. That's nothing too big. And then we have to think about our AHL. I mean, we can... I will let him go. There might be a decent goalie in free agency. We also drafted this Ivan Ulanov guy in the 4th round, which is a solid pick. I'm always pretty good at drafting goalies anyways. So I think our goaltending situation is settled until free agency. And we will... I mean, did I get the RFAs over and done with? Cool, I'm going to sim a day just to get them out of the way. Okay, hopefully everybody decides to come back. Everybody, Chris Griffin signs. Cale Newmanen, hell yes. Anthony Francis, hell yes. He's 6'6", ladies and gents. He's going to dominate, and if he doesn't dominate, I'm going to be upset. Now, the UFAs are a different question. Obviously, we're going to bring guys back for the AHL. There's no question about that. I mean, Dubinsky can come back if he wants to. If he doesn't want to come back, hey, go to free agency and make your money, I guess. Greg Pattern, obviously, he doesn't want to come back, so no thank you to that. Dia can come back. I think our AHL team got eliminated in the first round again, which sucks, but it's whatever at this very point. Obviously, I want them to succeed, but if they don't succeed, and if our NHL squad is succeeding, then I'm not going to be super upset. Nosek. Is he the guy on my 4th line? Because I have Fitzgerald penciled in down there. Let me look at Fitzgerald real quick. Because I do really like Fitzgerald. He played pretty solid in the playoffs. That stint there. 79 overall. We could always transition him to a left winger and keep Nosek on. Because I think Nosek is a fantastic 4th line center for us, so I'm going to bring Nosek back, give him at 1.275 is an easy peasy lemon Febreze contract. Now, our center core. Adding Anthony Francis kind of throws a great wrench into the system. He's going to be great. But Kunin is penciled in as our 2nd line center. Obviously, Anthony Francis is going to be our 1st line center. David Krejci. I did like you, David. You missed a few games in the regular season. 53 points isn't a bad year. You were effective in the playoffs, too. You had 8 points, but you were also playing alongside of Kirill Kaprizov, and I'm not sure if you benefit him as much, right? And you dipped around all over the place during the entire NHL season, so you know what? We are going to release David Krejci, because I'm not sure where you fit into this lineup right now. So we are going to simulate a day. Hopefully that is all resolved. Oh, he rejects the contract because he's not happy with the amount of minutes he played, even though it says he's a 4th line forward. So you know what, we'll go up to 1.5 just because I like you as a 4th line center. Simulate another day. Hell yes. 1.5 for 1 year doesn't really affect us. That doesn't hurt my feelings, okay? All skaters UFAs. Hartman, Bergman doesn't want to sign that deal. So, okay, Hartman, I could totally bring him. Yeah, he's a depth forward at 81 overall. We're going to bring him back. 1.1 over 2 years. I'll give him that flat out. Let's see if he signs that. Oh, okay, so he wasn't content with the amount of minutes he was playing, even though he's a depth forward. We'll give you 1.5 over 2 years. You should sign that deal. So he signs that deal. So that is it for the re-sign phase. I will go to coaching staff just to make sure everything's good with that. Now, Wellwood's good. We do have to get a goalie coach in the NHL and an associate coach in the AHL, which should be easy enough to deal with. Okay, let's head towards free agency now. There are a few guys. Oh, let me go to scouts while I talk about this. There are a few guys in pending free agents. There's guys like Ovechkin. There's guys like let me go to oh no, I pressed the wrong button. Stop. Did it just go to no? Well, I'm gonna have to fix my scouting staff off screen. Cool. I guess we're here. So I checked pending free agents. There are a few guys, and if they fall into free agency, I have to take a run at them. I do. Let's see if there's anything out here. Their biggest fish here is Rasmus Ristolainen, an absolute beauty. I mean, yeah, but there's no room for him on our defensive core. We have Quinn Hughes, we have Matt Dumba, we have Eminem, we have Brant Clark, we have Sutter, an aging Sutter, but he's still great. We have Ville Heinola, right? It depends on how much Sutter decreases, but I do still like him on my team. You got this Neil Pionk guy who is pretty solid. Mika Zibanejad, who is asking for $8 million now. He's probably worth it. 63 points. It was a bad season for New York, though. He did have 97 last year, right? So, an iffy player there. You got Forsberg, who is a great player. I'm just a little iffy on Lucas Raymond right now because I haven't penciled into my lineup as the second line right winger, and I'm not totally 100% okay with that. I don't like that. He's not an impact player yet. He's gonna be good. He's gonna get better, but I'm not sure if he's okay for that position right now. I like Mika Zibanejad, but I also like Francis Kunin, Connor McMichael getting in the lineup, and then Nosek on the fourth line. So I think right now I'm going to check out goaltending. Is there any big fish this year? The biggest goalie here is Samsonov. Is he an RFA? Well, yeah, he's still an RFA. That sucks. But there is a cheap option in UC Saros. 27 years of age, $2.7 million over 2 years. That is a deal we have to take into consideration, especially with guys asking for bigger contracts now. I mean, it's 2 years, which doesn't really hurt us. It's a contract that we could easily trade off if we need to. Gotta like Soderstrom. I mean, that's a really good wait, hold on. Georgiev. Is he... Hold on. I mean, New York. I mean, how much can I go up to until... No picks required. Okay, I'm going to go up until it says no picks required for Georgiev. No picks required. I mean, what are the odds that they'll retain his services? No picks required. I mean, well... No picks required. Keep going, buds. 1 point... No picks required. Okay, let me go down to 1.4. Okay, I want to cheese the system here, boys. So let's 1.4 for Georgiev for 2 years. I can offer him that. That doesn't really hurt anybody. We could also sign UC Saros if he really felt like it. I will come back to him, though, but I want to see if we get Georgiev. Now, I will look at the entire free agency class. Is there any guys that have fallen through the draft? I mean, Julien Gauthier, who I do like, but does he fit into our lineup? No. Barbashev, who... Lehkonen? I do like Lehkonen. If you don't know who Arturi Lehkonen is, he's such an underrated player. He doesn't put up the points, but he's such a great possession player. Anybody would love to have him on their team. He holds onto the puck, and you literally can't take it off of him. Might be a solid guy to bring over. I'm not super sure about that. Kovalchuk, that might be sick. I was hoping for just a bomb player this year. I know Ovechkin's contract was up, so he ups in Anaheim for a few more years. So let's look at the centers. Who are the top centers this year? Mika Zibanejad, Krejci, Bergeron, Haula, Nazem Kadri. I do like Kadri, though, but I think I'd rather give time to Connor McMichael on that third line this year. I mean, Kadri is technically a first-line forward, apparently. And we do have Donato. How did I forget about Donato? Hold on. So let me check something real quick, because... Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Let me check that real quick. When I was checking centers... Yeah, Donato's still there. Okay, that opens up a whole nother thing. I forgot we had Donato. So does Donato get moved? Maybe. But I still want to make moves here to better our team. I want a goalie. Georgiev might be the guy, which would be a nice goalie to bring on. Forsberg would be sick. Oh, that'd be a sick player. Put him on our second line. Hoglander, Kunin, and Forsberg. Damn, that would be a great pairing. Even Radulov, but comparing those two contracts, I'd rather take on a 6.725 contract at 27 than a 35-year-old, right? I mean, your top centers are... I mean, you got Gary Mayhew, who did dip in overall, but we got what we needed out of him. You got Joe Pavelski. You got a few guys here this free agency class. Chris Tierney, who's such a stud. Left wingers, you got Forsberg, Palat. Why doesn't it go to best overall? Gusev, Shiri, Kreider, who actually re-signed with New York a few days ago during the I believe it was right after the free agency period. Then you have right wingers. Oh my God, there we go. Radulov, Smith, Bjorkstrand. I like a lot of these guys. I like Nino Niederreiter, who got misused by Minnesota. Had a great finish. Where was he? Carolina. He comes over to Carolina, 30 points in 36 games. Yeah, exactly. Poor Nino Ryder. That's such a buttery name. How can you not love that man? What a friggin' awesome name. Now, I think the best decision here, maybe we throw a contract at Philip Forsberg, because I think we lacked veteran players on our team heading into the playoffs this past year. I think if we had one or two more impact players on our team, we would have taken it, but our offense kind of shut down. In clutch time, we're going to need guys like Philip Forsberg and not a guy like Raymond on the second line at 80-something overall. He is a sniper. He's very similar to Philip Forsberg, but then I'm like, where do we put Newman in? Does Newman move over? Puts me in a difficult position. But if we do want to compete, I don't want our defense getting hurt so much because our offense can't put up decent numbers. I think the best player to go after is Philip Forsberg. I honestly would love that. We could even move him. We could even move Petrangelo away from the first line and put Philip Forsberg up there. That might be a fantastic decision to make. I like that idea a lot. So, we are going to extend a contract to Philip Forsberg. He's also being offered by San Jose. 6 years? God, that's a lot. I am willing to drop it to 4 years. Bring him up till he's 32-ish. I will go up to 7.2 for 4 years. That is the highest I'd be willing to offer him a contract. Any more, I'd feel like I'd be cheaping myself out. I also am going to extend a contract to UC Saros, I think money to value, money to overall is fantastic. 2 years, I mean, 3 years it jumps to 3.7. So we'll go 2 years, and I'll go 3.5. I think 3.5 is a fantastic deal to offer to UC Saros. Now, let's sim a few days. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we have to deal with. And nobody signs just yet. Alexander Georgiev actually decides to re-up with New York. Good for you, man. So UC Saros is the man right now. Can we get him? We have 2 big fish. 2. Can we get both? Offer sheet, obviously Georgiev decides to up in New York. Good for him. And Philip Forsberg coming over to Minnesota. That is a huge piece to bring over to the state of hockey. The fans will very much enjoy that. 4 years, I think that's a great term. Money is pretty solid. I want us to start competing, and we're going to need players like him to do that. And UC Saros decides to sign the contract as well. So 2 former Nashville Predators decide to come over, stay in the Central Division, and come over to Minnesota, the state of hockey. You will enjoy it here because there's not a lot of country music because, country music. I don't want to go on my rant about country music, but damn. Spiza, why would I want Spiza Calgary? So, I think that is out of the way. I will go do coaching staff. I don't believe this is going to be the longest of episodes just because it's just an episode, just a vibe, you know? Just a vibe. So let's go to teaching A+. Let's give you this NHL. You want to be an NHL goalie coach? You want to be Christian Knudsen. You love that. You love it. I know you want the deal. Thank you very much. AHL associate coach. Let's see who is the best overall guy for us. Is there a good teacher? Not a lot of good teachers here in the AHL. I mean, is there anyone that's... we got this B... Oh, yeah. This, what's his name? Cody Funk. Hell yes. Sign the deal, man. I know you want to come over here to Minnesota. Even if it's Iowa, you still want to come over because it's always a party in the great state of hockey. That's just the truth. We're going to sim a few days. Hopefully we get those guys on board here in Minnesota. And I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time getting our rosters together. Christian Knudsen decides to sign. The fan base of your team is top-notch. Hell yeah, everybody's crazy about Minnesota hockey. Cody Funk, the Funk Master, decides to sign with the Iowa Wild. That is huge. So, everything worked out. I think it's going to take a little bit of willpower, a little bit of time to get my lineup ready to go for the 2022-2023 regular season. And hopefully we are ready to compete. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this one, please leave a like, leave a comment, share with people who you think may enjoy this sort of thing. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.